Welcome back. Previously on Stellaris Overexplained, I finished colonizing my first planet and my second colony is well underway, and I picked a couple more traditions and scanned some anomalies. So I'm going to want to consider getting my mining district right now. I like to build things, I like to always have one or two jobs available on all of my planets. Usually, I don't like to have zero, because that way I don't have to micromanage as much, and when I have zero jobs available, that's when I build something. So I already said I want this a mining district, so I'm going to go ahead and start working on a mining district. And by that time that's done, my pop will be most of the way produced. And another tradition. So, now it's between to boldly go and reach for the stars. I'm going to go for reach for the stars because really I want as much influence as possible. I want to be able to grab planets as quickly as possible. And then I'll go for survey speed. And then next pick is going to be to boldly go. So this is 1,800 days. Do not do the ones that take this long with a level 1 scientist. So, pop growth speed, genome mapping just finished, so I can pick my new research. I have 4 jungle blockers. You can hover over it to see how many you have on your worlds. So these are the blockers. So if I research that technology, I'll be able to clear these for energy at some point. So that's useful to eventually get. But right now I have tons of free district slots available on both of these planets. So I'm not gonna need that particularly soon. Then eco-stimulation will give me more food from my farmers and starbase constructions, but I almost never get food from starbase constructions, so really it's only food from farmers. It's nice, but like I said, food is not the most important one to have a huge surplus in, so it's fine. I can wait a while on increasing food. Off-world trade companies. This is pretty good if you're going to be playing a big trade game. The option will be available later, and I'm not going to build this until I have a slot because this costs. It's a building here on the buildings. So trade hubs collect trade value. You'll see here. So in the Bernard star system, if I had, say, a clerk on this planet and produced trade value here, I would collect it. I am collecting it from this star base because I have a trade port. So this planet is collecting it, and that increases, each one of these increases the collection range of how many jumps. So this planet over here that I'm currently settling, Horizon, I won't be collecting that right now. So essentially, like Earth, I'm getting all of this because this starbase is collecting it. But here, I wouldn't be collecting it. So it's important to collect it and consider where you place your starbases to collect trade value, because trade value means energy or consumer goods or unity. Once you get the thing to unlock it, you can get consumer goods and unity. So trade value is really important, and it's a little hard to understand because it's not collected as directly. Whereas like you do not have to be in the collection range to get minerals or energy credits. You just get that, but you do have to for trade value. And then there's also piracy to deal with, but I'm not at that stage yet. So basically that research will give me, this will produce trade value, like 2. So that's only useful. It's not usually worth the building slot because there's better buildings, unless you have like a starbase that has like all trade hubs. And it produces 2 for trade value for every trade hub, which is, it's nice. That means that this will pay for itself, its upkeep, and produce 1 energy. So this will basically be a free module. And it'll actually not only be a free module, it'll actually turn a profit. But I'm not going to be building one of these for a long time, and the technology will probably show up again if I want to build one of these. So I'm not too concerned about off-world trade companies, and there are better uses for buildings, so this is not a huge deal. So I'm going to go ahead and go for planetary unification. And what I'm going to do is that I know that I have a scientist with statecraft. If you can see here, I have statecraft. So I can switch this out. She can do this research because she has the specialty on it. And then meanwhile, I can put my genius on somewhere else. So then the question is do I want to put my genius on physics or engineering? And the thing is I'm already producing 27 engineering. So I'm already producing more engineering. So physics is currently lagging behind right now. So I'm going to put my genius in engineering, and then on my science ship, I'm going to put this guy. So you can see I did that finagling. I moved around my scientists, and now I'm getting plus 14, plus 19, and then here it's just plus 4%. So it's important to, every time you have a new research option, to consider can I move anyone around to make this research happen faster? And what research should I pick based off of that? And here's another research complete, and now that's going to increase my minerals quite a bit, and I have a new choice. I can get 10% mining station output and a nebula refinery. It takes nebula refineries are a building, and they produce 10 minerals, and they have an upkeep of like 2, maybe just 1. That's not a great exchange rate, particularly for a building slot. You have to build them in a nebula, so none of these systems that I have right now, I could build it in. I'd have to build it over here in this miasma. You can see these little names on the map mean a nebula. Nebulas are special systems. Once I get over there, you can see they color the map differently. They have these little names, and they block sensors. So I can see, I have a sensor right here, and I can see into, say, this system. There's no ships here, but I can still look into the system and see the star. Otherwise, here, I can't look into it. Eventually, you have to research the technology, but you could have sensors on your ships so you can see into adjacent systems with your spaceships without having to have a starbase. Nebulas block that ability, so you actually have to have a spaceship in the system to see it, which can be useful defensively if you control it, or really a pain if you're attacking. The nebula refinery is pretty niche, but the one, it used to be trash, and it used to be literally useless, and I would never build the building. But in a recent-ish update, you can get, once you have the technology to get exotic gases, you can get exotic gases from that building. So it's actually not too bad now, but I won't get any use out of it right away. So this is one I can wait on, except for mining station output is huge. You get so much from mining, especially later in the game. Like already right now, I'm making 14 energy credits. I'm making 13 minerals just from mining stations right now. So I get 10% increase on both of those. And that continues to stack. Like once I get this system, that's going to be even more. So this technology is really, really valuable to me. I like this one. I know I'm eventually going to want the nebula refinery, even if I don't need it right now, because I know there's a nebula near me and that the exotic gases are going to be good from that. Because strategic resources can be a little hard to get your hands on. They're not too bad, but getting them from space is way cheaper than getting them on a planet. Because then you only pay energy for them. You don't pay minerals as well. And then I have increased, I mentioned before, weapons aren't the priority. That's not worth it to me, not all of this technology research. And I would generally go for the reactors first. So right now, if I were to upgrade these, I wouldn't be able to build the ship because I don't have enough power for it. So I need to upgrade the reactor before I upgrade these. So this is useless. I wouldn't get any use out of it for quite a while. Corvette build cost and speed is pretty nice, particularly when you have limited shipyards. And, you know, I'm starting to develop a surplus of alloys, and I don't see any planets that I'm going to colonize right away. So, yeah, I'd consider getting this, maybe. But I love the mining station output. That's more important to me than Corvette build speed and cost. The thing is that I know I'm xenophile, which means I'm going to want to go for diplomatic because I have extra envoys. And envoys are what you use to interact with other nations. So I know I'm going to not be in any early wars. I'm probably not going to use my military fleets that early. So I don't need to develop them super fast. That's not a priority right now. So both of these are military techs, but this one is something I can use right away. So I'm going to go for 0G refineries.
Concluded.
Like I said, I literally just finished the survey, and now I can build a starbase here. And as you can see, it used to be 75, but now, if I cancel that, it used to be 75. If you remember earlier, it used to be 75. Now it's only 67, and that's a couple months discount on every starbase I'm building. So that's pretty good. That's like 2 months of discount. So now I have a choice of where to send this science ship. I'd like to get to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send survey, survey, survey. I want to get that choke point because I know this is going to be really good. If I can get this system and this system, I block off this whole area. And I guarantee to get this, or mostly guarantee, not 100% guarantee. I mean, obviously someone could declare war on me or get there first. but it's a lot cheaper to go bam, bam, bam than it is to go bam, 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 and like get them all at once. I can get this much faster. I'm gonna work on another science ship. I want someone going this way. So I can see here there's a continental world, which is more, that's actually really lucky because 2 of these are my guaranteed habitable. So my new science ship that I'm building, I'll send off to research here. Genius, Spark of Genius is fantastic. I'm definitely getting that, but I want them on technology, so I'm gonna switch them out. This person's gonna be on engineering research, and my previous engineering research person's gonna get on this science ship and go here. And in advance, I'm probably gonna get working on another colony ships. It's a little early. All right, Breathing Rift. So if I leave now, I'll get experience. Put me pretty close to the next skill level, but it wouldn't quite get me all the way there. But that means this guy would be level 3 pretty soon, which means he'll research anomalies faster, and he'll survey faster, and archaeology, which I haven't found any sites yet, he'll do that faster. And if I put him on technology, he'll research that faster. So that's pretty nice. Or I can add +4 physics research to this thing, which is also pretty nice. Or I can add unknown results. I might get something really cool, or it might even be bad if I do a special project, breathe in and breathe out. So a special project is usually something you have to research with your actual science ship. And it could lead to something like the science ship exploding and you losing your scientist. But it could also lead to way better benefits than these 2. So it kind of becomes a choice of what you're willing to risk. Studied from a safe distance is very tempting because I'm already lagging behind in physics research. And I don't really want to take the risk of having my science ship explode because I do think this event has killed some of my scientists before. I think this is one that can blow up your science ship. So I'm just going to play it safe. I don't want to lose my science ships because I can't take the setback on Unity. So it's going to be studied from a safe distance. That's okay with me. That means this system will be a good research system, and this guy can move on and do other things. So I'm going to survey this system, but then I'm going to explore this system, and then I'm going to survey down here. And when I'm exploring, I can decide whether I switch that into a survey if there's something interesting up here. An archaeology site discovered. So this is what I was just talking about a second ago. Archaeology sites, you could send science ships to do them, and they can give big bonuses and stuff like that. But I don't like to do archaeology until I've claimed all my territory, because my science ships, it takes a ton of time to do archaeology. So it's usually a good thing to do if you're basically retired. Before you retire your science ships, it's good to go around to all of your archaeology sites. Once your borders are locked in, you have nothing else to explore. So don't do archaeology sites until there's nothing else to do with your science ships. That's kind of like your last thing. There's one more thing to do after that, and that's send them on to planets to assist research. Horizon has finished, so I could go for research labs. That'll take a while to fill out, whereas if I were to build the research labs on Earth, I'd get them working the jobs right away. The reason if I get a research labs, it'll be -4, which will put me below what I need for this, or uncomfortably low, and I probably won't get this Unity. So I'm going to go for an industrial district here once I have enough to afford it. So here's an industrial district. I'll get that working. And here is my first strategic resource at Alpha Centauri. And strategic resource, this is exotic gases. So the first 3 strategic resources, volatile motes, exotic gases, and rare crystals, are really important because they're used. So say exotic gases, this building, you can upgrade, eventually get the research to upgrade research labs so that you can get more for a building slot. Because right now you only get 2 jobs, but you could upgrade it for the cost of monthly exotic gases. You could get 4 research jobs, or you can upgrade it even further for 2 exotic gases per month and get 6 researcher jobs. So it's really important to get the strategics, and then also you get edicts here for ships. So like exotic gases means that you can move faster or have, I think, stronger shields. You know, that kind of stuff is really important because you can have a boost to, you can just right before a war or right after a war is declared, you can enable those edicts and you can really boost the power of your ships when you need it. Strategic resources are an important consideration in what systems you go for because they're much cheaper in space. You can get them. You can use a building to build them synthetically, but that is way more expensive than mining them from space. Habitable World Survey. So I could get 223 Unity right now, or a bit of, I think, society research and a lot of Unity if I do this. I'm going to find these planets anyways. I always go for a commendable initiative. Research 8 habitable worlds, which I definitely will do. Then I'll get that little bonus. It's unfortunate that it's so late because I've already researched I've already surveyed 1, 2, 3, 4 that I could have gone towards that. Continuing to research anomalies, nothing interesting there. You can see my consumer goods is already dropping. I need to check that because I do need to keep that up. So what is causing? Probably more pops. That's probably just it. All right, I have another tradition. What I said before was I'm going to get to boldly go, and I'm going to stick with that. But then probably next I'm going to get a new life for the extra pop growth speed. And then I can construct this starbase. And this science ship, I'm going to send down here. Feral behavior. So every time you colonize a new planet, you have a chance for a bunch of different events. And as you play the game, you'll start to know them very well. There is an increase in feral behavior. Apparently parts of the population has expressed hitherto unprecedented levels of lust and aggression, and no one knows why. This devolves and you eventually get like some damage and some problems. And I'm going to have to divert some society research, but at the benefit of getting some extra things, some extra bonuses. And in the long run, once I've dealt with this, it does help you out. But now I can see there's a loud minority here. And this colony ship, I'm going to colonize my 3rd planet. Violence on the rise. This is getting out of hand. Even more crime, even more unhappiness, and even more pop growth speed. Yeah, here we go. It's gotten out of control. A staggering number of inhabitants are now infected with whatever is causing this feral deluge. And the colony has started to break it down because of it. Something has to be done or the colony will be lost. Well, then do something. So some situations require you spend what would have gone towards the technology instead going here. This is only 500, so this is only going to take 19 months, and 19 months is worth it to deal with this problem and remove the issues on my planet. All right, there's a tundra world here. I'm not going to be able to colonize that, so it doesn't help me too much. That one's pretty long. I'm going to leave it be for now. I'm not going to research that one. And you can see right here, so sometimes you get trade value that's just on a planet. So right here, there's 3 trade value. So you'd have to have this within range of Starbase to pick that up. But most of your trade value is produced from planets. I'm keeping an eye on those consumer goods because that could drop below 6 and that would not give me my Unity. And I would really like to get that Unity, so I want to make sure. So what I'm going to do just in case, I'm going to devalue the metallurgist job so that it absolutely, this pop that comes in a month will go to the consumer goods. And then that way I can definitely get that. And as I can see right here, you can see the trade value. I'm not collecting this. So that's 1 trade value that I'm not getting to use. But here in Barnard's Star, I'm not getting any because I have devastation from the event. And devastation is just a massive penalty to your planet that reduces housing, amenities, trade value. That's why I'm not getting anything from this. Resources from job. This is basically just, if you have 100 devastation, your planet does nothing for you. And this is destruction on your planet. And you can get it from like orbital bombardment as well. It slowly recovers over time. As you can see, it's slowly ticking away. Okay, global energy management is done, and I can select a new research. So, automated exploration protocols is really good because it's survey speed. So doing it now, I'm only going to get value out of it if I do it now. And it unlocks automatic surveying, which reduces a lot of micromanagement of your science ships. If you don't really care and you just want them to survey everything, they'll just go around to the nearest system to them and go survey it. Field modulation is the other one that's really good. This gives me energy credits. more of them. That's always nice. Improved deflectors. Again, I need to increase my power. Shields gobble up power so fast that I won't be able to use these yet. I'm going to go for this so I can actually use the survey speed. This I can get later and get use out of it later, but this I can only get use out of it earlier. All right. We have had first contact with an unknown entity. So I can look here. These are some space whales. It's nice to pop into the planet and look. If it looks like this, where it's like a spaceship that's glowing, you know that it's another empire. If you look over here and it's some kind of organic creature or whatever, you can tell a lot about it. Space whales are completely passive. They aren't going to claim systems. They're very friendly. So this is good. This basically means free influence. And the basic way that this works, you can see this blue icon, first contact. You can click on this and opens up this screen. And here's where envoys are important. You can assign an envoys, and this guy will investigate these, and over time, eventually he'll progress through this, and then eventually we'll know what they are. So we're kind of researching that. So I have run out of housing, but that's because of the devastation. But I have also filled the jobs, so I will consider what district I want next here. I'm making enough energy credits. I'm just going to go for another mining district. I think that's valuable to me. All right, so now I can decide where to send my construction ship next. I could go up north and get this system and continue working my way towards this system here. That's a good choke point. Or I could go down here and get the Torom system and start working my way around here. So I'll go this direction. I'd like to get this research here. So I think at this point I would consider, I'm running a surplus of alloys. I have a stockpile, and I don't see any planets in the nearby. There is a tropical world over here that I'll probably colonize. So I'll actually probably work down towards the tropical world over here. I might go for a construction ship, but I'm not going to yet. But I will go for some corvettes, because military ships provide you with influence indirectly. So basically, every military ship has a size. Corvettes are 1-to-1, so every one corvette is 1 naval capacity. But later ships like destroyers take up 2, cruisers take up 3. So that's important to know. You can increase naval capacity through many ways, but here's the key thing. Every size of like ship, so it counts for 2. So each corvette is counting for 2 naval coverage. And that's compared to your empire size. The more you control, the more you're expected to have in terms of military power. So your population is like, hey, there's a lot more of us. We should have a lot more military protection. The percent, you can have up to 2 monthly power projection. So getting military ships are both useful for actual protection, but even if you don't plan to go to war with anyone anytime soon, it's nice to get them for that extra influence. So I'm going to start investing in building more corvettes. But it is important to note that these corvettes are going to cost me monthly alloys and quite a bit of energy. So I'm going to want to consider getting a new energy district sometime soon. So I'm going to build 6 corvettes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we finished the research on my planet that's had all of this problems with the rowdy people. And the strange wild behavior is a result of cave tunnels that have a bunch of weird fungus that's been causing like a pollutant in the atmosphere, causing our people to go crazy. So what we can do, we can either find a way to use the cave mushrooms, or we can exterminate the cave mushrooms. I'm going to do the let die, because obviously this is causing a lot of problems on my planet. And I don't want to risk... So this is one of the cases where you don't know what's going to happen, the outcome of either. So you just kind of have to guess. I can exterminate them for 500. This will only take 9 months. That's definitely worth it.
Construction completed.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and get these energy, and then I'm going to move here and get that. First contact event. All right, so we've picked up weird heat blobs, and we're going to continue investigating them. And sometimes you get a decision, sometimes you don't.
Project has concluded.
Cleansing Flames. The project to incinerate all cave mushrooms has now been completed, and the primal urge-inducing fungus has been exterminated. As luck would have it, several of the burned-out caves turned out to have rich mineral veins. which will now be exploited further. So this planet, which was already going for minerals, now has cave cleaners, which are even more minerals. Every 20 pops on this planet, I'll get an extra cave cleaner job. So I'll get quite a few. So this is a real powerful mineral planet. It's good to look for synergies. It's good to look for things that combine well. All right, I'm going to call the episode there. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. And if I finish the next episode, you should see it on screen about now. All right, bye.